And the 73 flood is the first flood that I experienced here as a resident of Cape Girardeau. And we sometimes fail to realize how much water is in that channel. It may vary from 1 million to 2 million cubic feet per second going down the Mississippi. And it was so large that it encompassed virtually all aspects of our life here in the valley. So from 1973 forward, there was a conscious effort to establish a port along the river, to use the river, to live in a compatible relationship with it. Steve Aaron, professor at UCLA in Los Angeles, says that people who live along the Mississippi are unaware or unconscious of the fact that this is the great American confluence. That from about Cairo, Illinois, to St. Louis, Missouri, about 100 miles or so, is the greatest American confluence where things come together. For instance, it's in this area that we have all of the rivers of Illinois, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Ohio, that come together. In this area, we have all of the interstate highways, I-24, I-64, I-55, I-57, US 60. All of those roads bring people to this region, and they take them through this region. So it is a confluence area. Most people who live in the valley are unaware of the importance of the Cape Girardeau Port Authority to the life and the economy of this region. There are 7 counties in southeast Missouri that produce 1/3 of all the agricultural income in the entire state of Missouri on an annual basis. So this is a major agricultural region. It is a major transportation region. It is the crossroads of America. And from Cape Girardeau, northernmost ice-free port on the river, no locks and dams south of St. Louis. So you have easy access to the river, you have all of that power, you have all of that water, and you can develop it as a major transportation highway. And it made Cape Girardeau a crossroads. It worked certainly at a very slow pace in the 70s and the 80s. It took about 15 years to get the location, to get a harbor developed, to get a connection to I-55. That turned out to be much more difficult than anyone had imagined, indicating the magnitude of the Mississippi. It is bigger, it is more significant than we realize living along it. And the potential for some kind of industrial park between Cape Girardeau and Scott City is enormous. And I would guess that in another 50 years, the area between Cape Girardeau and Scott City will be an industrial base. And the Port Authority will handle all of the goods coming and going from this region. Important agriculturally, important industrially, enormous potential to bring southern Illinois and southeast Missouri into a coordinated area, reaching into Arkansas and tying together with all of the other port authorities in this region. The Port Authority of Cape Girardeau is an untapped potential. It is now working. It's generating millions of tons of trade each year. There have been many people who have worked to develop the Port Authority of Cape Girardeau. And starting in the 1970s, one of the great figures on the river was Woody Rushing of Cape Girardeau. Woody Rushing was owner of a barge line, a great character, a great pilot on the river. There is probably no one that had greater impact in motivating the creation of the Port Authority than Woody Rushing of Cape Girardeau. Another person that had a vital role in this was Irvin Garms, who joined the Port Authority in 1991. He worked with R.B. Potashnick and the Potashnick Construction Company, as someone has said, one of the biggest construction companies on the planet. He developed port authorities, he developed ports, he developed locks and dams, he developed the Oroville, California lock dam. And Irvin Garms had done construction projects all over the world, from Saudi Arabia to Los Angeles to European ports. Irvin Garms is a Cape Girardeau boy who became an international figure in construction. And he was brought into the Port Authority of Cape Girardeau in 1991 to deal with the problems they were having in the construction of the harbor, of the Port Authority itself, of the highway that's going to connect the port to Interstate 55. But human beings can build along the river, and the prime example of that is the Port Authority of Cape Girardeau. It was not the best place. It had to be done carefully. It was huge in dimensions. It was costly in finance. Irvin Garms, Woody Rushing, Dan Overby, Charles Blattner, all local Cape Girardeans made it work. We owe them much for the benefits that we get out of the economy, out of this landscape, and they have shown us how to live in harmony with the river. The Port Authority of Cape Girardeau does that successfully.